Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In referring to Nachiketa as a third person, it is like Lord Yama is holding him up as an example for all people interested in Shreyas. That is basically what we have to understand. Otherwise, why would he say, Nachiketa Sambhanye? So it is so that everybody sees this delicate balance and sees how this small boy has been able to get this far in terms of the pursuit, and very easily he was able to, without any kind of a doubt, was able to choose the correct Vishuchi. So, completely contradictory both the paths are, Viparite and having nothing in common, all that we have to see. And then we'll look at the Bhashya now. Duram Durena Mahata Antarena Ete Viparite Anyonya Vyavritta Rupe Viveka Avivekatmakatvat Tamah Prakashau Iva. Yeah. Duram. What does Duram mean? Durena Mahata Antarena Ete means they are so far away from each other. Duram doesn't mean far away. Duram means separated from each other. He wants us to look at it in that sense. Separated from one another. Mahata Antarena. Antara means distance, space, separation. Mahata Antarena Vartete. They remain very completely separated from each other. And as though that was not enough, Anyonya Vyavritta Rupe. Vyavritta Rupe means Anyonya, mutually. Vyavritta, exclusive. Very easy. Yes. Yeah. Vrit, vrit, v plus a plus vrit, vyavrit. Vrit means remaining, is, being divergent, contradictory, mutually. Anyonya means mutually contradictory, mutually and totally exclusive, meaning if you follow one, you cannot follow the other. And they are also characterized by what? Viveka avivekatmakatvat. One is characterized by viveka, meaning the proper thinking, not non-thinking, proper thinking. And the other one is characterized by what? Aviveka. Aviveka means what? No thinking. Thinking means what? Thinking, of course, avivekis also think. But what they think we don't want to know. Because it's not, it's jumbled thoughts. Whatever thoughts come, and thoughts keep coming in the head. That's why we are not so. If you are a Vedantin, you are not so sold on these psychics and mind readers and fortune tellers, because, your own mind, one's own mind, one is sick of. One is sick of the thoughts appearing in one's own mind. One is so bored. And then you want to go and read someone else's mind? How boring. Really. What are you going to find in that? And same kinds of thoughts that you are having, it's likely that they will also be having the same kind of thoughts only. So therefore what? Therefore, Viparite Anyonya Vyavritta Rupe, Why are they mutually exclusive? Because the one is followed by Vivekatmaka people and the other one is Avivekinaha. So in fact the path itself is Vivekatmakam and you know the other one is Avivekatmaka. Avivekatmaka means the Atma of which, the truth of which is just Aviveka, which is what prayers. And the other one, the truth of which is just Viveka or Aviveka Nimittam. Viveka Nimittam, both ways we can take. Atmaka means that without Viveka you cannot, without the shoes of Viveka you cannot go on this path. And on the other path, what? You leave the shoes behind and go run barefoot, without Viveka. And so this is what it is, avivekatmakatvat, vivekatmakatvat cha, because of this Viveka and Aviveka being characterized by, that is why they are mutually exclusive. Like even, this is a famous Adi Shankara, example, tamah prakasha viva, tamah prakashau iva, like even light and darkness are mutually exclusive. They have divergent courses, they have, different results. You cannot follow both of them at the same time. You cannot say I want night and day to be coexisting. It will not happen even at the international date line. So therefore, two dates will coexist, but night and day will not coexist. Not possible at all. Vishuchi Vishuchyau Nanagati Bhinna Phale Samsara Moksha Hetutvena Iti Etat. Yeah, now we are warming up in the Bhashya also. So Vishuchi here again, not a surprise, he says the roots, the paths, the roads, the directions, however you want to say, this Vishuchi is, the divergent courses, Vishuchi, the two directions. What do? They are bhinna phalatmake, bhinna phalake. They produce not only different results but opposite results. Shreyas gives the sweet tasting moksha. Prayas gives a headache, Prayas gives a sour lemons of samsara and a big headache on top of that, because that's what happens when you keep eating lemons. It goes straight to the head. You make that face, yeah. So it gives like that, what is that? Like those two birds in the Mundaka Upanishad. One of them is keeping on, becomes a berryholic. Why? Because it's wanting sweet berries, but it is unable to see that the sweetness that it seeks is already attained. So the fruit of Shreyas is oneself, the sweetness, the completion, the completeness, the wholeness, the limitlessness and the total absence of strife and the sweetness resulting from the total absence of fear and strife and sorrow. That is oneself. That is the fruit of the first marga, Shreyas, or rather the second one, Shreyas, and the first one, Prayas, which is characterized by avidya. That Vishuchi is fraught with what? All kinds of things, all kinds of sour and bitter things. In fact, the whole path is a lemon. Don't go there. It's a big, bada, yellow lemon. When you go there, you are cheated. You are cheated and mistreated. And then now, warming up even further and naming names, Adi Shankara says the one is characterized by moksha, Shreyas, and the other one is just samsara. So the fruit of the one Vishuchi is called moksha, freedom from the other one, which is called samsara, which is that which binds, the ties that bind, fulfilled with bondage, starting with being bound in one's own ragadveshas. So Bhinna phalake samsara moksha hetutvena. So bhinna phalake means they produce divergent results. And what are the divergent results? One is samsara. I was already in samsara. That's what. Yeah, that's the whole point. I was already in samsara. Yes, you'll continue to remain in samsara. You mean I'll continue to marinate in samsara? Yes. So what's wrong with that? Well, don't worry. Sorry for disturbing you. Moving on. That's all you have to say. You know. But how to get out of this samsara? Well, you have to get out of this and choose Shreyas. In order to get out of this, you have to choose Shreyas. But can I be in this? No. Bhinna phalake, completely divergent results and respectively called as producing samsara, not producing, reproducing samsara and moksha. And also very different because, see, different in so many ways, divergent in so many ways. If you start thinking, it's like you can make up a big list of what are the points of difference. For the one, you need certain mindset, viveka, the proper discrimination of what I want. For the other, you need a certain mindset. Again, what is the mindset? Instant gratification. You see, the mindset is totally different. In the one, you want to, one wants to get out of raga dveshas to discover the truth of oneself. Because one knows that there is something other than these raga dveshas that are swaying me around. And the other is a worshipful life towards raga dveshas, worshipping raga dveshas. Raga dveshas are shrined in the place of Bhagavan and Bhagavati. And they are done archana every day. Correct? So that is divergent. In the first one, for moksha, one needs a lot of qualifications. And in samsara, you don't need any qualifications to be in samsara. What qualification do you need? You have to have aviveka. I already have aviveka. Oh, you have to have vairagya. I already have. You have to not have vairagya. I already don't have vairagya. One is eminently, at any given time, qualified for samsara. Until one has already taken the Shreyo path, Shreyo marga, and then what happens? Then, then the person, even being in the so-called Jagat, that Jagat doesn't get converted to samsara. Jagat is not samsara. Jagat means the world, the universe that surrounds one, both animate and inanimate, including one's own body, mind, sense complex. It is called Jagat. And this Jagat, is transformed into samsara ... when? And all those conditions can be listed. When I internalize it, when I take it personally, when I sieve it through the sieve of my own desires and fears, when I don't understand the truth of myself. Like even being in the Jagat, I'm not susceptible to samsara. That is what one is trying to say. It's not that one is trying to leave the universe. No. You cannot leave the universe, Even if one dies, one is back again. So there is no leaving. There is only freely living, no leaving. And so this freely living is called moksha. And the Jagat, which is wrongly assimilated in one's head as a problematic entity, and as the cause of one's problems, is called samsara. That's the only definition. That's the only difference. And so here, to live in samsara, one needs no qualification. One needs a prakrita buddhi that one already has. Only here, in the other one needs a samskrita buddhi, a purified mind, a filtered mind from all foolishness, all ragadveshas, everything. Little decanting has to take place. Yes. And so that is why he names them finally, because Yama is getting ready to name them. He says samsara moksha hetutvena bhinna phale. So the hetu of one, samsaram hetuhu yasya samsara hetuhu yasya samsara hetu. Samsara and moksha, samsara samsara mokshau. Samsara cha mokshascha samsara mokshau. Samsara hetu and moksha hetu. That's what it is. So hetu means the cause of samsara, And like I said, samsara doesn't need a cause. It's because, you know. And so the cause of samsara means it has to be taken as because. And then moksha hetu, all these other things which is, which is the shreyas is the cause of moksha. And preyas is the reason why one continues to remain in samsara. That way you have to take, then it will make sense. Preyas is not the cause of samsara. Preyas is the cause of continuing to be in marinating in samsara. Kete iti uchyate yacha avidya preyo vishaya vidya iti cha shreyo vishaya ज्ञाता निर्ज्ञाता अवगता पंडितैः ज्ञेयते इति उच्यते. Which are these? Let us see. That's all he says. Iti uchyate. This is being said. Which are these two things? What reproduces samsara and produces or makes one understand that one is already free? What is the cause of samsara and moksha? These two paths. Let us see. Iti uchyate. This is what is told. What is told here? Vidya iti avidya. Avidya he says, and quickly he connects. Preyo vishaya. That which is the subject matter of Preyas PhD, avidya. If you want a PhD in Preyas, you just stop looking at yourself. That's the only thing. Start blaming or continue to keep blaming everything and everybody around oneself. And there is some extent of self-blaming too, without taking responsibility. There is difference between blame and responsibility. One can say that, okay, I made an error in judgment. Perhaps had I known this, I would have not acted in this way. Perhaps if I had been better qualified, I would have not chosen this. That's what Lord Yama is going to say. That I chose Nachiketagni over, self-knowledge. That's why I'm here. If I had better judgment, I would have not done this second time around. You are even better than me. He's going to say this. And so what does this mean? This means that one is able to look at the connection between cause and effect, one's own, thinking and one's own doings and the results thereof, and learn a lesson. That is taking responsibility, which is incumbent on learning the lessons from life, from life's missed takes. That's what it is, or lost opportunities. Why did I lose the opportunities? Oh, I just was so immature at that time. I couldn't have made this decision. And then, the other one, self-blame. This is what the samsarin does. And how does the samsarin indulge in self-blame? Nobody likes me. I always make this mistake. I'm an idiot. I'm always doing this. And what's wrong with me? This is getting into a victim situation, where there is no agency to just go beyond that self-criticism. Either one is stuck in criticizing others or oneself, sometimes simultaneously at the same time. I don't know how, but it's possible, I suppose. And therefore, there is no introspection. This is what the whole thing is. So therefore, what happens is that, that's why it is called avidya. Avidya means there is no introspection. There is blame without responsibility, whether it's blaming others or self-blame. That's really the primary characteristics of avidya. And that's why when you take the first step into spiritual growth, it means one stops blaming oneself, one stops blaming others. That's all it is. That is the first baby step into spiritual growth. This is how I have to see the universe, including this body, mind, sense complex, without blaming this and blaming that. Without blaming aham vishaya or idam vishaya. That is how I have to look. Then only this whole thing starts to be seen in a new light. This is what one has to do. And therefore here, he says that one is characterized by Avidya, which is Preyo Vishaya, the subject matter for the PhD in prayers, is how to blame constantly, all the time. That is the subject matter for the PhD. A PhD in blaming. Let us count the ways of blaming ourselves. Let us count the ways of blaming the world. Let us count the ways of blaming others in the world. And then let us not leave out Ishvara. Let us also blame Ishvara. What kind of a Jagat you have made? You idiotic Ishvara. Idiotic Ishvara. How could you do this? Look at this. So, and then of course we are blaming the planets. Shani is never in the right place. Shukra is always, what is that? Below the money level. And and Shukra means Venus, abundance. And all these problems are there, and this is how one lives the life of avidya. Avidya means blame. That's all it is. Internalized blame. Seething, sitting in that, on top of the stove of blame. And it is on high. The flame is on high. Not even medium or a simmer, And therefore, this is what is called Prayog Marga. And then what? Vidya cha iti shreyo vishaya. So what is Vidya? Like I said, the baby step of making one step into the path called Shreyas is that one makes an intention, sankalpa. From today, I am not going to blame myself nor others. That doesn't mean I get a free pass to do whatever I want to do. I change the blame to a gentle vikshanam, a gentle look, a responsibility, looking for the responsibility, looking for the opportunities that I might have missed. In fact, if one stops blaming, these things will generally come. The synapses fire eventually, and these things come. Oh, perhaps I should have, I could have done this. And instead of just lamenting, the lament is taken over by lament means one is victimized. The lament is taken over by a proactive agent who is identified as the witness. So to this observer becomes evident what might have gone wrong. And that's a gentle look. This includes, and for that gentleness to come, going away from prayers, going towards Shreyas, includes being gentle towards the body, towards the mind, towards everything in the Jagat. And sometimes one forgets that the Jagat includes the body, mind, sense complex. So one has to be eminently compassionate to one's own body, mind parts. Including all the inner fellows. There's a whole population there, as big as China, and each one is saying, I want this, I want that. So one has to be compassionately saying no. And at the same time, allow them to just be who they are and not try to make them grow up too fast. Okay, they want to be children, let them be. I'm not going to play with them. Let them be children. You see, that's where the observer reigns supreme. I'm not affected by them. I don't join them. I don't also chide them. I just allow them to be. Yes, all right. I don't listen to them. I allow them to be. That's what the whole thing is. And so, this is Shreyo Marga. And then, and this is Jnata. This Vishaya, this subject matter of Shreyas is Jnata. Jnata by whom? Panditaihi. By not Panditam Manyamanaihi, Panditaihi. Not by people who consider themselves Pandit, but by others who consider them Pandit. Such people, by such Pandits, the subject matter is known that as Vidya and Avidya. Jnata, Nirjnata, Avagata. Nirjnata here means ascertained. Not just known, not as an opinion, but ascertained, understood, determined. Tatra Vidya Abhipsinam Vidyabhipsinam Vidyarthinam Nachiketasam Tvam Aham Manye Yeah, so you are out of Vidya and Avidya, you are definitely a Vidyarthi, meaning Shreyorthi. Here, Vidyarthi is not in the sense of somebody who's just desiring knowledge. Don't get confused with that. Yeah, let us be very clear about the context. Avidya cha vidya iti jnata. What is the context? Shreyas and preyas. Preyas and Shreyas, two Vishuchis, and one Vishuchi is the road to disaster, the other one is the road to, Jnanam, knowledge, self-knowledge, which is freedom from that aforementioned disaster. So, one is called Avidya and the second one is called Vidya. Vidya means Shreyas. So, when he says, Tvam, you, O Nachiketa, not O Nachiketa, you Nachiketa, I think Nachiketa, which is you, to be a Vidyarthi. The word Vidyarthi has also someone who has a light dalliance with the knowledge. Should not be construed as such. Cannot be construed as such grammatically. Even though grammatically that is possible, contextually it is looking at the two paths, one characterized by avidya, the other one by vidya. He is simply saying, I count you as a Shreyorthi. That's what. That is how we understand it. We take it to be. Shreyorthi means the desirer of Shreyas. Abhipsa is Abhilasha, is a strong desire for Shreyas you have. I consider you, and I already told you, consider. Consider means what? It's not that Yama is giving one opinion and Yami comes and says, well, he did bother us for 3 days. I don't consider him great at all. She could be coming and saying that. It's not consideration. Yeah. Man here, even though it means opinion, think that which comes from the mind, no. It is not some random opinion. It's a fact, and because it is talked by a celestial, an exalted Purusha like Lord Yama, it makes it even more important. Statement of fact. Okay, so aham manye kasmad yasmad. Did we miss something?
No.
Oh, kasmad only?
Yes.
Kasmad. Yeah. Kasmad. Yasmad. Avidvad. Buddhi. Pralobhinah. Kamaha. Apsarah. Prabhritiyah. Bahavah api. Tvatvam. Na. Alolupanta. Yeah, we'll stop there. So, Kasmat. I thought there was one more line, but no. Kama. Oh, that comes later. That's what. Okay. So, Kasmat means why? Because Yasmat. Avidvad buddhi. Avidvad buddhi. Pralobhinah. Pralobhinau. Pralobhinah. Means, pralobhi means that which is a cause of temptation. Pralobhin, that which is easily tempted. And the cause of temptation, plural. What is that? That kamaha. So pralobhinah, what? Kamaha. So what pralobhinah causes is qualifying kamaha. What kind of kamaha? Pralobhinah kamaha. The tempting kamas. And who are they tempting? Obviously not Nachiketa. Avidvat buddhi pralobhinah kamaha. So, those desires, those temptations, pralobhinah, those tempting things which try the patience of what? Not vidvat buddhi, avidvat buddhi. Vidvat buddhi means a buddhi endowed where Viveka is sitting and having coffee. But avidvat buddhi, no Viveka. absence of viveka, aviveki buddhi. So avidvat buddhi means a buddhi without viveka, a person without viveka. Then that person or such people, such buddhis who come under the sway of such kamas. That is the whole idea. You know. So kamas which tempt these buddhis. What does he say here? He says, and what are these kamas? Nymphs, apsara, etc. Or what else was there? Yeah. He says unenlightened intellect. Yes, which distract many an unenlightened intellect. So, avidvat buddhi. So the buddhi is without vidvatta, without any kind of viveka. So that buddhi is tempted by such nymphs and etc. And you were immune to that, so that means you are vidvat buddhi. That is the whole idea. So avidvat buddhi bhi, by such avidvat buddhi, kamaha pralobhinaha, without by that, by these avidvat buddhis which are tempted, those temptations were of no use to you. And what were those temptations? Bahavaha, many and varied. Apsara prabhritayah, bhr, to fill. So filled with apsaras, or beginning with apsaras, ending with apsaras. So such things were not there. Na tvam, na alolupanta. They did not cut you off. Vichedam kritavantah. Lump, to cut. So they did not cut you off. From what? Shreyo margad, atma, upabhoga, abhivancha, sampadhanena. Yeah. So Shreyo margat na vichedam kritavantah. Because here in the Shastra, in the text, it says na alolupanta, did not cut you off. Doesn't say from what. From your blood supply, what did it not cut you off? From the blood to the brain, where was the no cutting happening? The no cutting was happening, and he says from what, that which is in the fifth case. From, you did not fall off the Shreyo marga, you did not get cut off from the Shreyo marga. Meaning what? That this is where the small caveat to other mumukshus, be like Nachiketa. Let us all who are studying this, let everyone who is studying this be like Nachiketa, who wasn't cut off. Meaning it's very easy to get cut off, to drop off from this Vidya path called Shreyas. From this Shreyo Marga, it is very easy to get cut off. Let us not do that. And so it's a slight caveat which is going to be repeated from now on till verse number 7. Not just a what is that called? The stuti of the knowledge. The knowledge is being praised, but along with that, this is also being upheld. Shreyo margat. And then how does one fall off the path of Shreyas is explained. Atma upabhoga abhivancha sampadhanena. Atma upabhoga. Atma here doesn't mean self-knowledge, but here means that the enjoyment, upabhoga, enjoying some things, Atma here means oneself. So, upabhoga, enjoyment of something. And abhivancha, a deep desire. Sampadhanena, by arousing. So, did not go away from the path of Shreyas by arousing or by there arising in you, O Nachiketa, a desire to experience severe kamas. And severe objects of delight, objects of enlightenment, that that was not there. Sampadanena means earned, but here you don't earn the desire, it's just produced. So here we have to take it as aroused, produced. So in you the desire to experience these delights was not produced, and that did not cut you from the Shreyas path, and therefore you were protected. Atah vidyarthinam shreyo bhajanam manye iti abhiprayah. Iti abhiprayah means this is the idea. What is the idea? Therefore, vidyarthinam here, this is what he explains, what I already said. What was that? That Vidyarthi doesn't mean just a general student. Oh, Shishya is better than Vidyarthi, why is he a Vidyarthi? No. Here Vidya only contextual, because it is called two paths and this is the path being discussed. One is called Vidya, other is Avidya. Obviously you are going to choose Vidya, and oh, you Nachiketa, you have delighted us by choosing. You delighted me, and by choosing this Vidya, and by not coming under the spell of those desires which produce a penchant, a deep pull towards enjoying various temptations. So from that you are protected, you are not cut off from the Shreyas path, and as a result what? I consider you a Vidya Abhipsi. Abhipsin means a great desirer of knowledge. Because the other vanch, to want, vanchati, first conjugation I think. So vanch, to want, vancha, feminine, vancha, abhivancha means that abhivanch, the same Adi Shankara again plays with the word desire. Abhivancha means that desire. Again he uses the same pratyaya. What is pratyaya? Pratyaya means suffix. Yeah, so I mean prefix. Upasarga, he uses the same upasarga. Yeah, you are correct. So he uses the same upasarga abhi. And he says abhivancha, the deep desire, and the immediacy of the desire, conveying the immediacy of the desire, abhi, that abhivancha was not there. So you are a abhipsin of the knowledge. That same upasarga he uses both ways to show the divergent opposite paths and their results. One is a landmine and keeps exploding in the face off. Okay. And then one more word to be commented on in the Bhashya is Shreyo Bhak. That is, Bhak means the one in the Bhaj, to divide, and here very appropriate because there are two divisions, Duramete, divergent divisions, far away divisions, and so Bhaj, to divide. So Shreyo Bhak here means the one who is deserving of this particular aspect of the division. Shreyo Bhak, Shreyo Bhajau, Shreyo Bhajah, Shreyo Bhajanam. Yeah, so this is what you are. Shreyo Bhak means you are the one who is chosen this, who is deserving of this. All these meanings are there for Bhak. And so Shreyo Bhajanam Manye. Who are the others? Samsara Bhak. Moksha Bhak is Shreyo Bhak. Samsara Bhak and Samsara Bhuk also, because they keep eating the things of samsara and getting, and spitting it out, and Yama also spits them out, and they keep coming back, and that's no wonder. Each time a birthday is celebrated, what do they say? Many happy returns. Meaning they acknowledge that you have come back many times. You have come back, many happy returns. That's what it is. Yeah, it's not an accident. That's why they say happy birthday song also 3 times. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. This is what it is. 3 means it's an upalakshana for repeated. Yeah, once you do 3 times, finished. Yeah, means innumerable times. We have keeping on this, oh dear Jiva. Here you are emerging, punah punah, again, bhuyo, again and again you are emerging, and asakrit, again and again, repeatedly emerging. Many happy returns to you. May you come back again and delight us all with your samsaric antics. Fun on antique, and an antique in samsara. That's what it is. You are an antique, you are a prized possession of samsara. We are not going to let you go that soon. We are going to sing many happy returns. This is what happens if you choose the path of avidya. What is that? Path of prayers, total prayers. One keeps praying upon things, one thing after another, and very soon many happy returns of life, many happy returns of the day, because everything is a deja vu. Day by day, you keep going woo, woo, woo. That's all. So, everything is a deja vu. Everything is just like something else. What would you like to do? I want to go rock climbing. There is a rock in the backyard, climb it. Oh, that's a small little pebble. I want to go rock climbing, big rock. And then another person says, I want to go diving from the sky, skydiving, bungee cord jumping, and that zipping, zip lining. They all are the same. What is the same thing? The adrenaline rush. That's all it is. And you taste your breakfast. That's all it is. Everything comes, because the body is in all kinds of weird situations, gravitationally impossible and challenging situations. Yeah. Taste your lunch one more time. That's all. So that's all they have. They all are the same. You've gone to one mall and you are mauled by the mall, and another mall you go to, they say, new mall has opened. One time, nobody came to class. Nobody came, literally. It was in Georgia. I said, what happened, Not a single person. And then I said, what happened? Ramayana, you study. The only person came was driving from Florida. Only one person. Nobody else came. So what happened? Well, new mall has opened. Were you there at the time? No, you were not there.
I think
You heard of it. You heard of it.
It was, I think I might have been there. Actually.
You were there, yeah. She was there.
We cancelled.
Yeah, and we cancelled it. And Rich came from Florida. So we cancelled and didn't do anything.
That was the end
Huh?
That was the end of Ramayana.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you there. And that's why that memory came, because I remembered you being there. And see, I don't make so many things up. So then later on we found out that the mall had opened, new mall, same mall, but a new wing in the mall. New wing in the mall had been inaugurated. What is that? Grand something. Grand opening, grand reopening, grand wing, something. And it had all these, it had a food, newly minted food area, newly minted children's playing area, new shops. And that grand opening, everything, 1/4 off. So, everything 1/4 off, okay, but the whole of the clothes off. This is what it was. Everybody there. So this is what is called samsara bhak. This is, if you are not Shreyo bhak, one is samsara bhak. Bhak means what? Bhak is deserving of, divided into samsara bhak and Shreyo Bhak. So if one is a Shreyo Bhak, what happens was already discussed. Like Nachiketa, one is upheld by Lord Yama, praised for their qualifications of great titiksha, vairagya, viveka, all these things. Great discrimination. Yeah, tomorrow we'll do a little whatever. I've been meaning to do. What is that called? Yeah. Yeah, all these. No, Shatka, no need. Only 4. Only 4. 4 qualifications you need for moksha. One of them is wanting moksha. So only 3. That one. Yeah. Only 3 things we'll discuss tomorrow. Remind me if I forget, because that is important. Very important. And so here what happens, see, if I'm not a Shreyo Bhak, then what am I? Samsara Bhak. This is what the whole thing is. Where the immediate attracts. The immediate attracts because the resolve is not great to avoid it. And then if we ask the question, why is my resolve not great? If one were to ask that question, usually the answer is the value for Shreyas is quite not there. That's why the Preyas is chosen. Because they are seen as 2 possible things. It's not just one thing, it's 2 things. So should I choose pot or clay? That is how it is. Pot Preyas, clay Shreyas, really. They are not, you see, if one were to say if I should choose between pot and big pot, small pot, so that's an equal choice. But here one is the cause, and the other is the effect of not choosing that cause. This is the 2 are not synonyms. Shreyas and Preyas, they sound nice and rhymy, and so do Vidya and Avidya. But if you are not a Shreyo Bhak, by default you are what? Samsara Bhak. Shreyo Bhajanam Nachiketasam Manye. I know that Nachiketa belongs to the former category. But what about the latter category? Oh, poor things, what happens to them? Avidyayamantare vartamanaha. Adyayamantare. Repeat. Avidyayamantare vartamanaha. Swayam dhiraf panditam manyamanaha.
Swayam dhiraf panditam manyamanaha.
Dandramyamanah pariyanti mudhaha.
Dandramyamanah pariyanti mudhaha.
Andhenaiva niyamana yathandhaha.
Andhenaiva niyamana yathandhaha.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yeah. Where have we encountered this before? Bhagavad Gita. Which chapter? Not Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita. If not Bhagavad Gita, then where?
I want to say Mandukya, but it's not this Mundaka.
June sounds like
Mundaka. Just this weekend.
Just
When
this
was the
weekend,
weekend?
exactly.
2 days ago. Yeah. Which is why one needs constant exposure. Otherwise, there's just a familiar feeling, and that already one has. Like, I think I've missed something. That's the feeling. Sounds familiar. Mundakopanishad. Just recently, only one word is different. Janganyamanaha. And that time I told you, here it is Dandramyamanaha. Janganyamanaha means killed repeatedly, which is itself a big feat to accomplish. One time you can kill, but repeatedly dying means what? Destroyed ityarthaha. Here, drum to move, not drum. Drum. Drum to move about aimlessly. Drum, 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 dandram, plus young and all these things. Young is the intensive, frequentive, when something is happening intensely and frequently. And this is what even the Viveka Chudamani student says. Durvara samsara davagni taptam dodhuya manam, from dhu, to shake. Dodhuya. Dhu, and the first one takes guna, dodhu, and then you add yang and everything, and then it becomes a word. Dodhuya plus shanat mana. Dodhuya mana. Dodhuya mana means what? You know, being repeatedly and intensively shaken about by the winds of samsara. This is what happens to people who are in avidya, because people who are in vidya, it was already talked about, and Nachiketa was praised as Shreyo Bhak. Who is a Preyo Bhak? Samsara Bhak. What ends do they reap? This is what is being told. We'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.